Estate planning can start to feel technically overwhelming very quickly. You're quickly thrown into a whirlwind of jargon, trust, wills, probate, transfer, and death instruments. It's a lot to take in. But let's look at estate planning from a slightly different angle. What is the simplest way to transfer an estate? Just pure efficiency, pure mechanical expediency and ease. What does that look like? I have over a decade experience in avoiding probate, taking estates through probate. How do these different approaches translate into terms of a stress-free experience for our loved ones? Today, we're going to break down what the actual lived experience of probate means for your loved ones, and then go over a few simple approaches to skip it if we want to. We're going to do it in normal people language without the legalese. If you're looking for straightforward answers that demystify the legal, this video is for you. So, who will benefit the most from this video? Generally, people that dislike bureaucracies, people looking for plain English explanations of complex legal terms, people who have an ethical goal of making life as easy as possible for their families, and adult children helping aging parents organize estate plans. At NTegrity Law, we've guided thousands of families through estate planning options, and today we're giving you the inside view without the legal jargon. First question, is probate really that complicated? Can it in itself be a smooth transfer of my estate? Well, probate is just that default court system an estate goes through when someone dies in Illinois. In Illinois, at least, it has a reputation for being slow and expensive, taking on average 10 to 14 months to complete and costing thousands in assorted fees. It is not unusual for a probate to cost $15,000 to $20,000 in time and expense from beginning to end. Generally, once people learn about the probate experience, they want to avoid probate because of the cost and time associated with it. They just don't want to burden their loved ones with a slow, expensive court process. Particularly as parents, they've lived their entire life sensitive to the children's emotional needs, and that doesn't change just because everyone is a little older. It's easily the least simple, most cumbersome, and most tedious approach we're going to go over. Now, will skip probate? Won't that be a smooth transfer? Unfortunately, no. This is a common misconception, but wills are not tools that can be used to skip probate. A will is a document that goes with the probate court system. It's not designed to skip probate, rather it tells the probate judge how you wish to have your stuff split up and given to your family. An easy way to translate the experience that a will demands of your family in probate is something like this. Would your family be okay with paying a court system and law firm on average $18,000 and waiting 10 to 14 months to receive their inheritance? In my experience, the answer for most families is no. Unfortunately, that means that while a probate is smoother with a will because it still requires probate, it cannot be the smoothest estate transfer tool on our list. I always hear about trusts. Will a trust skip probate, and how easy are trusts? Yep, a trust absolutely will. That being said, a trust is not always a good fit for all families. But what is a trust anyways? It's a strange sounding term. Again, a trust is just a big contract. The idea behind a trust is to use contract law to skip the entire probate system. A validly set up trust can apply contract law to distribute the estate without having to wait 10 to 14 months on the probate court and without having to pay an average of $18,000 in fees. A trust lets your family get to work right away to distribute your stuff according to the terms of the trust contract. People usually turn to trusts after they learn that probate is an awful experience. The trust is the most common estate planning tool used to avoid that system, and it allows for a lot of cool tricks that can be used to protect a loved one's inheritance from divorcing spouses, meddlesome in-laws, and unscrupulous creditors. Now, that being said, not every estate can really benefit from all of the cool things a trust does. If we don't need all those bells and whistles that a trust brings, we might be able to create an even simpler estate transfer. Let's say, for example, maybe there's one child, house, and some bank accounts, maybe a retirement account. What can we do then? Let me introduce you to the transfer on death instrument. This is the simplest estate planning approach we can take to skip probate. A transfer on death instrument, or a TOTI as it's sometimes called, is a document we prepare for the house to which we record with the county, which makes it where upon the surviving spouse's passing, the house just goes to whoever was designated on the TOTI. As long as the bank accounts, retirement accounts, and insurance have something called proper beneficiary designations, you get to skip the probate system and you get to do it at a fraction of the cost that a trust would entail. Simple. It's the most down-to-earth, simple, straightforward, cheapest approach I can offer a client to skip probate. On paper, it's the most turnkey of the options and creates the most efficient estate transfer. Now, the great advantage of a TOTI is the simplicity, but that also can be the biggest weakness of it. So to summarize, 1, probate is generally something people want to avoid because it's not just a very pleasant experience for family. 2, well, people often think a will skips probate, it unfortunately doesn't. 3, estates that just consist of one piece of real estate and bank accounts, retirement accounts, and insurance might be good candidates for a transfer on death instrument to skip the probate system. Estates that have minor children, real estate, businesses, and which are generally larger, often will benefit from a trust to skip the probate system. As you can probably tell, the best approach is going to be a product of your specific estate and what your goals are. If you need help charting how to achieve those goals, our team at NTegrity Law can help you look at the full picture and build a plan that honors both your wishes and your legal obligations. If you found this helpful, you'll definitely want to check out our next video in our series. In that video, we're going to break down, again, more common myths about estate planning and more ways to efficiently protect your loved ones and your family. Feel free to schedule a consultation today. Call us at 847-802-9912. And thanks for joining us today.